in the Lord, we have beautiful readings today's liturgy, in which the first reading from the book of the prophet Jeremiah gives us an image of the potter and the clay. Though this word came to Jeremiah from the Lord, rise up, be off to the potter's house, there I will give you my message. I went down to the potter's house, and there he was working at the wheel. Whenever the object of clay which he was making turned out badly in his hand, he tried again, making of the clay another object of whatever sort he pleased. If we're going to center our reflection on the first reading, perfectly it describes of our journey that we are all clay which is under the potter's hand, in which it's only through openness, it's only through humility, it's only through receptivity that we all know that every one of us is on process towards perfection. In fact, our first reading today gave us also an image of the potter, that whenever the object of clay which he was making turned out badly in his hand, he tried again, making of the clay another object of whatever sort he pleased. In which we are being once again reminded today that in fact, life is a continuous process. Learning is a continuous process. There are things that we have to relearn and be learned. If there's words to learn, like there are things that we should stop learning from it because it's no longer helpful. There are also things that we have to learn new because it's going to help us. And perfectly describes of what we are going through, especially that we're learning things, especially the challenges of this COVID-19 pandemic. But one thing that inspires us, is the consolation to think that in fact, human as we are likened as the vessel, a vessel of clay, which is under the hands of a potter, which is under the hands of God. That God patiently forming us, that God give us all the chances, that God waiting for us perfectly, that we respond to Him. This time, my dear brothers and sisters, we know that in the process, in the journey that we take, there's always time that we should always have this kind of thinking and attitude, behavior, that we don't have this monopoly of knowledge. We don't even have this kind of claiming that we have the perfect idea. Rather, everything is on process. Everything is on process. Concept is not absolute. Because even concept and ideas continuously evolve. So as with our life. So as with the imagery of the first reading today, that we are likened to a clay on a potter's hand. That we are clay under the hand of God, who's undergoing a continuous process of formation. So my dear teachers, my dear friends, it is good to think that we are all on the process towards perfection. But clay as we are, we experience at times that clay is susceptible, fragile, that it may be broken. And yet we see that even in the brokenness, we are being given a chance to make this brokenness whole again, complete again. And this is under God's grace and help. And the gospel today also invites us to look. As Jesus said, the kingdom of heaven is like a net thrown to the sea, which collects fish of every kind, and sat down to put what is good into buckets, and what is bad they throw away. Give us an idea that there will be reckoning, judgment day, separation of the bad and the good. But what important to note is this, that God is willingly giving chance, patiently waiting. And this is the very message of the parable, that giving us time and also responding to his invitation. And my dear brothers and sisters, we know that God is a potter who patiently molds us, waits for us to respond to his invitation for conversion renewal and responding to his kingdom. And through our humility and also through our openness, which are very important, information, in molding, so that we could be likened to his and perfect as he is, which is on process. So my dear brothers and sisters, we are being challenged today. But life is a continuous process, as we are likened to a clay, a vessel of clay, formed under the hands of a potter, formed under the hand of God, formed under the heart of God, formed under the mind of God. Which is, let us be open, let us be humble, because these are the right attitude towards the kingdom of heaven. Openness and humility. Amen. Let us respond with faith to God's invitation to enter his kingdom in